Within the volumes of books entitled Star Witness, you will find a story about a living God who became king and then hid his face from a wicked generation. And he has an angel son that is born on Ethiopian Christmas Day, 2 years before he was removed from power. And his son said a lot of people are getting paid for folly. And if you look it up, the biggest book deal in history was given to Bill Clinton for $15 million. And the third biggest big book deal was given to his wife, Hillary Clinton. So imagine you wrote a book detailing how Christ said approximately 20 years ago that Clinton, Giuliani, and the Pope are all going to die on the same week. And it wasn't said maliciously, it was just saying that he knew. Just like in 1998, he said that the World Trade Center was going to fall. Then he had a vision of two warplanes. He did not say how he knew the World Trade Center was going to fall, and he did not say two planes hit the World Trade Center. All he said is he had a vision of two warplanes. He also said the Statue of Liberty, the Eiffel Tower, and that white Jesus statue in Brazil are all going to fall on the same day as a sign that he is mad. So anyway, let's look it up. The top biggest book deals. Bill Clinton, $15 million. Britney Spears, $15 million. Hillary Clinton, $14 million. Now ask yourself, how did that help change the world? Did you guys know this? From the 11th century onwards, the last black Asian kingdoms in Southeast Asia are strongly destabilized or about to disappear. In this localized geography, a breeding ground for a new identity that is to be distinguished from its Chinese origins would take root, creating multi-ethnic nations such as Vietnam, Thailand, Tibet, and Cambodia. By the end of the 18th century, with the end of Kampa, the black Asian peoples have just about disappeared. The entire region of Southeast Asia becomes predominantly Han, or yellow complex in appearance. In other words, they go out their way to change the past by creating a future that they themselves invented. So let's see who they are. In the first book of Maccabean, also known as the first book of Maccabees, it lets you know who's out here changing the word. So after Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came from the land of Kittim, had defeated Darius, king of the Persians, and the Medes, he succeeded him as king. He had previously become king of Greece. In other words, Greece controls Macedonia, which is Greece. They also control Iran and Iraq. So as you can see, in the first book of Maccabees, what their whole plan is to do. So to the end, they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. In other words, if you follow the Greek kingdom, which includes Rome, Jerusalem, because Jerusalem has become a heathen, and if you believe in Egypt and what they're saying, then you're out there changing all the ordinances. So in other words, whatever they told you, just know is the opposite. If they told you Jesus was white with long hair, know he was black with a short afro. So know who to follow. Know there's three different people and try calling these sheeps, but they're only going to listen to one person. There are many voices in this world calling for us to follow. The world says to live self-centered. Right? They're calling the sheep. No one's coming. Until my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And who said that? John. But John is just another name for Jah. John is just another name for Jehovah. And John is the divine one. So that's why it says we are living in the revelation of St. John the Divine. Another Bible will say St. John the Divine One. In other words, God is John, who was born in the year of John. And know this, if you didn't know. Made outside, we made it about a block.
We made it at least 2 blocks, and we started running. All my thoughts started popping out.
It was if they had detonated.
Yeah, detonated. Yeah.
Take down a building. Boom, 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 boom.
All the way down. I was watching and running. Just ran up, and then you just sort of this cloud of shit chasing you down. Just ran up West Street.
In other words, they went out their way to change the story, just like they want you to believe that Sheba died thousands of years ago. So here goes Sheba. And when is she supposed to be here? After many days, you will be given attention. In the final part of the years, you will come to the land, onto the mountains of Israel, which is in Ethiopia. When Ethiopia joins up with Iran and Put, and currently Ethiopia is joined up with Iran when it comes to BRICS. So let's watch. If you didn't know.
A bomb, I saw it. No plane hit nothing.
That is not a plane. They don't know what they're talking about. How would they see a plane hit that?
Dude, I saw the second explosion. There was no plane that hit the second building. It exploded from the inside out.
It was a bomb. Bomb in another building, not second plane. That was a bomb. Who said the second plane?
That's what we're told. The second plane. We saw it on television.
That's what they're told. So they're there letting you know there's no plane. In other words, the heathens went out their way to change the story. And you got to know who the heathens are. Whatever they tell you, think opposite. If they tell you Jesus died thousands of years ago, know that he's alive now. If they say that he was God, know that he's not God. Whatever they said. In other words, the heathens consist of Greece, Rome, Egypt, Jerusalem, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Asia. Because they're all part of the Greek kingdom. So whatever they told you, that's why within that kingdom they have at least 3 major religions, and each one of them are short when it comes to understanding the full story.
All right. Thanks a lot.
What happened was I was down in the basement. All of a sudden we heard a loud bang. And the elevator doors blew open. Some guy was burnt up. So I dragged him out. His skin was all hanging off. So I dragged him out and I pulled him out of the parking lot. This was what was left on it. Pulled him out. When I pulled him out, I looked up and the second bomb blew off. Just saw a burst, a big burst.
All of a sudden, you heard a loud explosion. So we all ran to look. And the first building was a big hole on the side of it, and on the other side went in flame. So we stood there in shock. Everyone's screaming. A woman collapsed on me. I had to lay her down on my textbooks. And before you know it, out of nowhere, the next building blew up. And then all of a sudden, everybody's everyone's running all over the place. A panic attack.
We actually didn't see the second plane, but we saw the explosion hit the other tower.
That's a bomb, right?
Yes, of course.
There's no plane. There's no plane debris. There's nothing. But the media told us one thing. It's just like they do with religion. They created 3 major religions, and each one of them don't have the full story. So that's why every day a Muslim can argue with a Catholic, and a Catholic could argue with a Jewish person. Why? Because they all have half a story. The full story is in Ethiopia with a living God who has angel son, who has sons during the generations of Jacob and Joseph, which is happening now because Jacob is literally the root of David.
That exploded right in front of us.
I did not see plane. I said the plane hit the first building. The second building just exploded.
That looks like a second plane.
I didn't actually see a plane go in. That just exploded.
No, a bomb, I saw.
Because that was when they started with holograms and no one knew. Just like you didn't know that the Statue of Liberty is because of slavery.
The architect. And when I was at the Statue of Liberty, because I eventually agreed, when I go there, I'm going there with the knowledge that the Statue of Liberty was holding originally in her left hand broken chains. Commissioned 1865, pretty important date, end of slavery, end of the Civil War, all of those things were why. She is a statue of what? Liberty. Which makes sense. So she has broken chains in her left hand.
But now it's a statue of Satan. In other words, it's supposed to fall on the same day. Just know this. It says Clinton, Giuliani, and the Pope are all going to die on the same day. Don't know which Clinton, don't know which Pope. Just know when Giuliani dies, a Pope and a Clinton are going to die within that same week, I should say. While the Statue of Liberty, the Eiffel Tower, and that white Jesus statue in Rio de Janeiro are all going to fall on the same day. So one of his prophecies deal with within a week, Monday through Sunday, not no Sunday to Saturday. And another one deals on the same day. So notice, there sits Pepe Orsini, not crowned, not named, not seen, yet he commands the kings and whispers into the ears of presidents and pontiffs alike. Why? Because there are at least 3 popes. They got the black pope, the white pope, and the great pope. By the end of the day, we follow Jah. And so if you're a publisher, just know Jah is here and books are ready.